By far, one of the questions we get asked all the time, one of the topics that people want us to discuss, is how to shallow the club coming out of the top. And we see some excellent ways to do it. We see some not so good ways to do it. We're going to take a look in this video. We're going to take a look at 3 of the best ball strikers in the world and show you exactly how they do it and what you can learn from that and apply it to your golf swing as far as shallowing the club for pure iron shots. Let's take a look at 3 of the best ball strikers in the game. And we're literally going to go 1, 2, and 3 on tour at the time this video is recorded and look at the top 3 strokes gained ball strikers and approach shots. Right? So these guys are good. These guys do the best, right?
Yeah.
that given skill. First one we're going to look at here is Collin Morikawa. Now, what a lot of golfers that we see in lessons every week, we see them come in, get to the top of their swing, and they think to shallow the club, that this club's got to kind of wheel itself around back in here and kind of force a really laid off move coming into the ball. And as you can see right here, what Collin does is that's not the case. His shaft now is pointing just slightly, and you can see the golf ball right here, just slightly beyond the golf ball.
Yeah. It doesn't take this massive kind of the club kind of spiraling down or the club head lowering way down. A lot of people mistake that for what is a correct shallowing move, and it really doesn't need to do that.
It's more of a lowering of the hands, arms, and club than it is just a big whip out kind of lay down move, which we see guys trying to do quite often.
Yeah, what we'd like to see is the head of the club and the grip of the club lowering at almost like a uniform rate. Like it comes down at the same rate instead of the head lowering at a much faster rate than the hands. That would get it lowering way too much, and it takes more work to square it that way.
Because what we'll see a lot of guys do is in an effort to do what you're talking about, where the head drops down a bunch,
and the hands stay,
is they'll prop this left shoulder way up in the air to kind of get that kind of movement to happen, and then you may lay it down up top, but it's a mess down here at the ball or the sideways shot.
Well, when that happens, it's actually a face opener.
Yes.
So you either have to massively twist the left wrist or somehow at the bottom horse this club head around enough to be able to get it back in a playable position. It's very difficult to do. That's why you don't see a lot of these guys doing it.
No, you're exactly right.
They're trying to make it easy on themselves, so why would they try to make it more difficult?
And if we look here at this left arm parallel spot, just how direct his club moves down to the golf ball. If we play him through, you can see that club head just really takes a beeline straight to the ball from there.
It's on its eventual impact plane. If you put that club at impact, that club from the top gets on that eventual impact plane line pretty early.
Makes it pretty simple. All right, let's go to another golfer. See how that looks. So we'll now switch over to number 2, I believe, which was Will Zalatoris.
It's a rage.
Really had a kind of his coming out party there at the Masters this year.
Yeah.
So we'll do the same thing to Will. We'll take him wheel him up to the top of his swing. And we'll kind of bring him down to left arm parallel. We'll say right there. Now his shaft is pointing a little bit more outside the ball than what Collin's was.
Yep.
But still not anywhere close to horizontal like we see or 45 degrees or anything like that.
And that's a lot there. I would consider that.
That is a lot. That's quite
the outside of the spectrum, basically.
But you can see from there, it doesn't keep going. It just now starts to make. We'll go back up to where we started here. We'll kind of put our beeline down at the golf ball. A little bit under. Coming right in through it.
Again, pretty neutral. Nothing crazy, right?
Right. So very much the same move. Again, once you get the club into this spot, and this is where the speed really starts to pick up in the club head, it's making a pretty direct line to the ball, or you want it to.
You want it to. You don't want to be shifting around too much from that point through the ball and even halfway into the follow through. You want to get it on that. Dr. Kwon called it a functional swing plane. That thing whips around there on the same plane. You don't want to be having to move it late in the downswing to get it on plane.
Now, from Collin to Will, 2 very different looking swings, a little bit different move. Now, our third golfer here, number 3 on the strokes gained, is JT, Justin Thomas. Again, another different looking swing between the first 2. To see what he does as he gets it moving up to the top. So quite a bit different backswing than what we see from our two golfers. Much more vertical here. And then,
comes right out of the left arm.
And we'll see it right here, pointing wrong line, pointing right down the shaft, so right above the golf ball again. And if we bring him to it, you can see a pretty direct line to the golf ball from there. So 3 very different looking golf swings.
Yeah.
3 very similarly shallowed golf clubs.
And how they take it out of the top to the ball. There's no massive amount of club head lowering that you see people posing in their kind of practice swings or Instagram, wherever you want to look. You
Right.
just don't see it that much out in the wild.
You just don't see this move where that club's kind of like that, where we see so many regular amateur golfers
I see it, all
practicing.
right. Yeah.
But, you know, these guys are trying to hit the target. They're not trying to make swings
And
to
fast.
fit a model.
I mean, you have to think. I mean, I want that thing going pretty much a beeline down there.
Yeah.
That elbow plane line, right? You can get the club moving fast. On plane, you're going to hit the sweet spot more often.
Pretty often. All right, let's go now to gears. And we're going to show you something that we've actually never done before on the channel. So we're going to take a look at one of the pros that we work with. This guy's a major champion. And we're going to show you that everyone's swing can get off track, right? This guy's hit a lot of great shots, a lot of memorable shots on TV, but even the best swings can get off track and need to be kind of refined or find their groove again. And this golfer here, you're going to show you both of his swings, same session, one early in the session, one later in the session. The yellow club is later in the session. The blue club is beginning of the session. And you can see how when he gets the club going back, you're going to see the blue club here as we start to change direction is going to come down steep. Right here at left arm parallel. You can see how much steeper that blue club is pointing than the yellow club, the after club.
Yeah.
And, you know, we saw a couple guys pointing right at the balls, a couple of them pointing over the ball. You get a lot of variety in that. But what you really don't want to see coming down, especially this left arm parallel spot, is the club pointing way inside the golf ball.
That can be a tough one to recover from.
A good player will shallow it late, and a bad player will just continue to keep chopping on top of it.
That's right. Bad player will be steep left divots. A good player will kind of stand up the club and fit it in late and kind of too shallow, too late, hooks, toe balls, all the associated shots you get with that.
Yeah, we'll see most amateur golfers have the club way out shallow over the golf ball in the backswing and then reverse that and get that steep in the downswing. But you can see here, it's not a drastic to fix this golfer, right? To get him back on track where he liked how he was hitting it and seeing the ball flight that he wanted to see. It wasn't a drastic change in angles.
Talking degrees in golf, right?
Yeah.
1 degree on a driver swing, fairway or not fairway, trees, not trees. I mean, it doesn't take much.
So you're seeing quite a bit of difference in ball flight from a small difference in shallow angle, we'll call it. Right? We didn't try to get him, again, way into here like that. Like, 1, he wouldn't have done it. 2, it wouldn't have helped.
You probably looked at us like we're crazy.
Yeah. So it's just moving the club, shallowing the club enough to produce that direct route, that direct line into the golf ball. That's going to give you your max compression. It's going to give you the most maintenance-free golf swing versus trying to time all that face opening, right, which it does. All that time, all that lay down, all that swinging around behind you, try to time that all the time. It's a difficult thing to do, and it's unnecessary.
No, just don't see it. Don't need to do it.
Yep.
Get the thing on plane as quick as you can coming down, and you're going to see good results.
All right, now let's head to the warehouse and show you guys how to do some drills to make this happen in your swing. All right, so let's talk about how to train this movement, right? Because this is what everybody's wanting to know. So we've got a couple really good drills, and we're going to kind of show you the progression of what you want to do. And this will work if you're steep coming out of the top, or if some players are just too under coming out of the top, right? So this is going to work for both. So Shaun's going to do our split hand drill.
Yeah. So take your hands about shoulder width apart, normal grip with your left hand, and just grip it underneath on the shaft. And what you want to do, take it up to the top, feel like your right arm stays pretty straight. And then as you come down, feel like you let your right arm straighten out.
Right, so let's go over this again, and I want to kind of just put a few details in on this. So set up to it like you just did.
Okay.
Now notice how he's got his hips and his shoulders square, We'll see a lot of guys doing this and they'll already be kind of kinked to the side.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we want to start square, then he's going to take it up to the top with a wide right arm.
Yeah, and this helps you stay wide because it feels better to kind of be out when your hands are split.
Right, because a lot of you are used to taking it up to the top like that. That's not much turn there.
Absolutely. So you just kind of keep your arms in front of you as you turn back, and that's what takes the club to the top instead of you adding all this extra arm run up.
Now when you bring it back down.
So yeah, you're going to kind of get your body moving and turning and let the right arm straighten at the same time, and it lowers back down in front of you.
So now you're going to bring it back where the shoulders are close to square, hips are close to square and level, and this is what you're trying to do. You're just trying to lower the club. Let's show them one from down the line there.
Yeah, so up to the top this way, get your body in the right position, and then as you start down, as you start to move your body, just let the arms straighten out, and that lowers the club down on the plane all the way down.
Now do that again. I'm going to drop kind of a plumb bob out of your shoulder and watch how his left arm works down rather than out.
Rather than this way.
Right.
It's kind of the death move for everybody, really.
That's exactly
Good
right.
players especially.
So he's keeping way too much bend in this right arm to make this move correctly. If he straightens out his arm and lowers his arm right underneath his shoulder, the right arm's going to have to straighten as a result.
And a lot of you, instead of this way, are guilty of doing this to kind of square the club face. So it's a really good kind of catch-all drill.
Okay, so that's the first one, and do that slow. All right, now the progression from that is our open hand drill.
Yeah. So this one, there's some detail here. So take it normal grip with your lead hand, the right hand, come in with an open palm, just kind of, instead of gripping it, just put your hand on there like you were about to grip it.
Right.
So if you just squeezed your fingers, you'd have a grip. So it's open palm, set up this way. You want me to do a face on here first?
Yeah, let's do a face on.
So I've got it open, just kind of pressed against the side. And the thought process is to keep the hand on the side of the grip all the way through the swing.
Okay.
Right? Instead of having being under, like a lot of you are going to want to have the thought process that you want to go this way. Well, we don't want to do that because now my hand's under the club.
And the club face is wide open.
Yeah, and I'd have to make some really exaggerated wrist move just to square it.
So this is a great drill for teaching you not only the sequence out of the top for lowering the club, but also to getting the hand ready for impact, right? So when you come down like this, your hand's going to start to rotate and kind of swivel on top of the shaft, and then you're going to be in that nice kind of compressed feeling that we all want coming into the ball.
Yeah, so if you just thought about keeping it on the side, it goes from this is the side here, well now this is the side here, and that squares the face up, and then the release portion of it, I'm on the side still, instead of being under or trying to roll it down. So it's great. Again, another one of those drills you almost can't do enough of.
Now if you do this drill and you find yourself when you're coming in to hit the ball, and again, go slow at first. Like this is chip speed, nothing fast.
Maybe no balls first.
A lot of you are going to feel the hands separate, and that's a distinct cue that you didn't do the drill correctly. You've got to go slow enough to be able to keep this right hand wide open up with the grip as you move on through. If you do both of those drills correctly, you are going to start shallowing the club correctly out of the top, then you're going to have all the benefit down here through impact.
Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and give it a like. Also, if you have any questions about today's video, or you have an idea of a video that you want us to shoot, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. We read every single comment. We also respond to the comments. So again, leave us a comment if you have any questions or there's anything you'd like to see. Now, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. We have videos coming out every single week and we don't want you to miss one. So by clicking subscribe, that ensures you're notified right away when a new video comes out. And hey, if you want to add instant distance to your drive, and we all do, everybody wants more distance, go ahead and click the link in the pinned comment below. You're going to see a link. Click on it. It's going to take you to a page. You're going to enter your name and email address. We're going to send you an email where you're going to get access to instant distance, which is a video training that we put out. We know it's going to help you. We know we're going to see you farther down the fairway.